Hello and welcome back to Live from the Bottom Half. If you're joining us again from our last few shows, welcome back. If you've joined us for the first time, you've missed out on one show. So you have to go back and watch it all and subscribe and do all that fun stuff. Today, what we are talking about is the Vanguard boxes. More widely than that is what we're talking about is list building from a completely new person's perspective. 99% of all players, when they start with an army, will go to the Vanguard box set because it's cheap and it's got stuff in it and you can play with it to a point, which is something we will be
Fair
discussing
enough.
today. But
Okay, on to
before
our
we get
next one,
into
which I think Michael's going to be doing most of the talking, but I'll introduce it to you if you like, Michael. We are going
yeah,
on
yes, please.
to the Slaves of Darkness Vanguard box, retailing at £85. The points out of this box is 610, and in this box you will get one Chaos Lord, 5 Chaos Knights, 10 Chaos Warriors, and 1 Chaos Chariot. But Michael, having also been kind of like our forerunner on this army and a knowledge bearer of the Slaves of Darkness, what are your thoughts on this one?
Of the Vanguard boxes we've done so far, my limited knowledge, I think this is the best one. I don't think everything in here is good, but I think the stuff you do get is phenomenally good. And for the price points that you're getting it for through. So yeah, we want to jump through it. I'll start going through looking at here. So the Chaos Lord and the Chaos Chariot. In general, the Chaos Lord is good. The Chaos Chariot, you make it, you put it lovely, you put it on a shelf, and you look at it about how wonderful it is. That's it. That's how you play a Chaos Chariot, right? You don't do anything else with it. It's a great paperweight. You can give it with your dog to play with. That's cool. It's 80-point battle line. But I'll get into that when we get to it. So the Chaos Lord is essentially a foot hero. All these vanguards come with their foot hero. This is their one. We have I say mortal wound causing a of the retinue to give it a bodyguard rule. If it fights, it can pick its retinue to fight straight after it. So these are kind of rules we have seen a lot of the more combat armies in that the boss fights, his mates fight. The retinue can be both Chaos Warriors and Chaos Chosen. Chaos Chosen, having them as a retinue and fight immediately, and then they can fight later on, is chef's kiss. Within the greater scheme of things, I'm not sure how if you would take a Chaos Lord over maybe a Chaos Lord and a Crackerjack. You
Yeah.
definitely wouldn't take it over a Sorcerer Lord because they are very, very good. But it synergizes well. It has its role. For your grand strategy, make him undivided, put Chaos Conduit on him, roll D3, roll 3 dice, where you roll one, there's your Demon Prince. You know, that's the utility for what he is, right? He can give you a grand strategy, and he's 110 points or something, relatively low, maybe 130. Chaos Knights are fantastic. Generally, you give them Corn because it gives them +1 to attack on a charge. 5 will have 10 attacks. And I think you can get it down to threes, 2 rend, 2 damage, with 5 attacks each or something.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of output basically. The other ones you can use them, so initially give them run and charge, but there's other ways of giving them long range charges. Mortal wounds on are warded on a 5, very good in the new GHB. All right, so the other ones we'll talk about Nurgle when we talk about the Chaos Warriors, but you can have Zinch, which allows for a little bit of teleport shenanigans. That's how I like to play them. I like to run them in. They do all their charge damage, then I pick them up, put them down, and charge them in again. So just keep cycle charging, because that's what you want to be doing with Chaos Knights. You want to be getting them and charging, putting them up, charging again. For the Chaos Warriors, Nurgle is kind of where we're at with them. Nurgle means you are +1, -1 to wound them, and if you give them the banner, you're -1 to rend. So you're 3 models. Mystic Shield, all out defense. You're on a 1-up save. You get +1 to wound, and again, no rend. These aren't leaving. It's 3 a.m. at the house party. Everyone else has left, and they're opening up another can of beer. It's like, it's go. Please go. So that's what they are, basically. They are blocks, and they will sit somewhere and they will take a beating. They don't really hit back too much, not to any real level. They have some shenanigans if they're contesting an objective, but not much more than that. They had the 5-up wound ignore, mortal wound ignore as well for the rune shields, so they're sticking around. It's going to be hard to get them off of magic. It's going to be hard to get them off on objective. They are low count. You get 10 in the basic unit. So numbers can sort that out. As I say, Chaos Chariot is essentially a pay-to-wait. It's a cheap battle line. You have the space and you need battle line. If you've gone heavy into the Vanguard and Chosen, you might need an 80-point model just to make your list legal. And that's what this is. It can run and charge. You can give it all the Eye of the God stuff, which is wonderful. But it's 80 points for a reason. It does charge. I think, you run it on the charge. You roll dice equal to the charge. 5-up mortal wounds.
Yeah,
you're not doing much with that, but it's a good looking model. The Gore Beast Chariot has a bit more play. I cannot remember if you get the Gore Beast Chariot in the Vanguard, because in the Chariot set it's you swap it around. But I just don't know if that's the case. In which case we need to adjust the points. Yes. So that's what was in the box. I'm assuming there needs to be a justification of why this is the best one. If you buy another Vanguard box on this, you pretty much have the linchpin of every decent Slayers of Darkness army. A block of 20 Chaos Warriors with Nurgle will hold an objective as long as you want. A block of 10 Chaos Knights with Khorne will kill whatever you want it to kill. It's just a fantastic start. I don't think you'd necessarily go much higher than that, but that is your linchpin of your army.
So you kind of said like the Chaos Lord isn't necessarily something that you would ultimately go for. From a hero perspective, and I can't believe you actually said the words of Demon Prince and everything. I know he's currently shunned by a lot of slaves players and everything. But from a hero perspective and everything, what would you suggest would be kind of like brought into this army to help benefit it?
Chaos Sorcerer Lord is the most important one. He's one caster, which by itself was not fantastic. You can give him an extra cast with some command traits, but he gives a 6-up ward, so he can just and it's not even you pick something that has a 6-up ward now, which is great. The heroic action means you can cast on 3 dice, so he's very good at casting. Gain Chaotic Conduit. The Demon Prince is trash. That's nothing to do. What he's good for is buying it and keep it on the side. So when you turn your Chaos Lord into one, you can put him on for free. That's what he's for. Now, I'm going to tell this story because I like telling this story. To give an example of the kind of usefulness of the Demon Prince, I had a Chaos Lord. My first item got roll. I turned him into a wizard. The second one, I got my Demon Prince. The third time I touched him, he miscast and killed himself. It's just right, cool. That's his good job. Good job, Demon Prince. Good job. But yeah, the Sorcerer Lords are kind of the most important thing. Beyond that point, you're talking Vanguards and even Archaon. I mean, who doesn't want to play with an Archaon? That is incredible.
Yeah. No, that's true. And going on from there and everything, are there any other kind of like basic units you would suggest? Because at the moment there are a lot of other options available. You've got a lot of the minor war bands that are open to Slaves of Darkness, as well as other units. Are there any you would suggest that you would kind of add into this to kind of bulk out the Vanguard, or would you stick to the armor?
If you're with Vanguard, I think more knights to give yourself flanking options. I've got 2 blocks of knights and 1 block of because the knights are on their own 3-up stage, so they're quite tanky. If you decide that the idea, which I didn't enjoy too much, of just being a 1-note army of like Nurgle, while you just sit there, you can get into the more expensive stuff. I mean that in points wise. Chaos Chosen are really, really good. They will clear things up, reinforce. I think every Slayers of Darkness unit needs to be reinforced. Right. And in this case, you would reinforce your Chaos Chosen. The other side is you take the Knights out and you put a Vanguard in. Bean, who plays with us, plays that list and has done phenomenally well with it. You run in, kill a bunch of stuff, fight again. For the drop-ins, sorry, I call it drop-ins. For the battle and the culture talking about from Warcraft, there's only 3 that have any real serious potential when it comes to getting good results. Ben's mentioned there the Corvus Cabal, deep striking, sit on an objective. Deep striking is always good. Because you've got so much going into the front, people have to deal with that problem. And you can't be like, I deal with Vanguard on turn 2 or turn 3. It has to be like, no, they are here. We need to do it now. So when the Colts come down, there's not much they can do with that. So that's been very good for holding backfield, stopping redeploy, stopping appear, things appear. The other ones that are quite good are the unmade. The unmade stop you redeploying. So if I move my unmade up, you don't get to redeploy, and then I move my knights up, you're not moving anywhere. Like there's no chance you roll in at 6, and then my 5-inch charge is an 11-inch charge. So they have a lot of play there. And the other ones are the Splintered Fang, who there's 10 of them, 3 attacks each, 4s, 3s, no end. But 6s are mortals. So that's 30 dice, big mortal wound output. You give them Corn Mark. I think there's one of the legions can add. They're all undivided. I think Legion of the First Prince someone can give them a mark on top of that. So you can do a lot of work with them. They are going to die pretty sharpish, but not before they've given you the points back.
I know the
issue is...
Yeah, so go on.
So the issue is with those ones is that they're so good that you're never going to find them. And if you're going to find them, you're going to be overpaying. Because even on eBay, you're looking at 50, 60 quid. And because people know, like all the tournament players who play Slade of Darkness want those because they're cheap and they have so much utility. And Slade of Darkness in the whole game, except maybe Fire Slayers, is the most honest army. It has to come fight you. It walks up the pitch. Like Skaven, I tell people that the goal in a Skaven army is that you have to fight fair while I fight dirty. So I want to make you stand there while I peer through my night runners. Slaves of Darkness, I'm coming into the front. We're going to both fight honestly in the middle of the pitch. Whoever wins, wins. In that utility of making it a little bit more dirty can happen with your cults. But you're gonna pay the premium for those cults, sadly. But that's just how.
Sorry about that, guys. My Discord decided to crash on me. It's done it before and clearly it's done it again. Right on this opportune moment. So apologies on that one. I kind of stopped Michael in his tracks talking about the units. Michael, do you want to just carry on from where you were?
So yeah, I was just saying mostly that those are 3 good ones, and there is that premium you're going to pay on it. Ben in the chat has mentioned the golems. Now, the iron golems, whatever they're called, they used to be very, very good because what they could do is sit on an objective, and they're 4 up to save. But if they on an objective where they don't move, they go to a 3 up. So they were very tanky because Chaos Wars at that point were 4 up with a 3 up possibility with a shield. But it was like a save, a +1 to your save. So they were very tanky for a Slaves Darkness army. Now they have tankiness plenty. I don't think they really need more stuff that doesn't die. They need stuff that can move and get behind and cause dilemmas, which I don't think they really do anymore too much. You mentioned the guy being, by the time people are thinking about your back line, you should be halfway through killing their army with the Slaves of Darkness. But yeah, no, they used to be the D pick. And it's another 100 points when they pay for it.
And Jason, do you have any thoughts on this? Because I know you did actually consider starting Slaves to Darkness at one point. Any thoughts on the Vanguard box?
It's a nice selection of troops again. I haven't seen a Chariot, so I'm guessing that's the reason why is because no one actually uses them. But the rest of the army, yeah. I mean, I've fought Mike's stuff before, and it's a nice start. I think, yeah. Once again, I've said this a couple of times, but yeah, like a double Vanguard box, 1,200 points. gives you a nice selection of units there, of the units that you need in the army. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So,
So we're definitely seeing this as kind of like a tick over, like you, Michael, you said, is kind of like the box at the moment to go for. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it has the most utility. And maybe it's not a case that like you use every unit in the box, but the ones that are your linchpin of your army. And that is what we kind of want, I think. In a good Vanguard box, it gives you stuff that you will use forever. And this does that.